Welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Star. I am here to help you remember who you were before the world told you who you ought to be. There's been a really heavy energy that's been coming through the past while. This morning I woke up and the song by Ali and AJ, Potential Breakup Song, was playing in my head, and I was like, what is this? So there could be, a kind of separation. There's been fears of the unknown, fears of failing. There's been sensations of packing and leaving, running away, wanting to run away. For some reason, I'm also picking up on this twin flame runner chaser dynamic. If you're new to this channel, we don't follow that kind of thing, but I know there's probably a lot of people coming from that kind of thinking to have that rewritten. So I always say, if there's this feeling of running and chasing after somebody, right? I always say everybody is our mirror, right? So it doesn't matter if you're attaching your attention to a person who you think is your twin flame, because every individual person that you meet is going to reflect something to you about yourself. So you yourself are your own twin flame, basically. If you're attaching this idea that somebody else is responsible for how you're feeling or things like that, you're basically giving your power away, right? So I'm gonna pull some cards here. I did pull previously some, I made these when I was in Japan. These are just some symbols that I intuitively picked out of the pile. So we have some, I don't know where the camera is here, birds, and these are just things to pay extra attention to this message if these things resonate with you. We have a turtle. I'm just going to set these off to the side. Some clouds. This beating heart. Eggs in a nest. And a book. This could also be a journal. If any of these resonate with you, then pay extra attention to this message. There's possibly something in here that you need to hear to help you shift through this energy that's coming up. So let's unpack this a little bit. I also made these in Japan. We have Aquarius and Sagittarius coming up. Now these do not need to be any of your big three. Everybody has all of the zodiac within them. These are just the energies that are coming up. This feeling of independence, exploration makes sense with this wanting to run away and explore and kind of leave the situation. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, who is the rebel planet. Aquarius is also related to humanity and innovation, and Sagittarius is, of course, very interested in philosophy, very optimistic and adventurous. So we have the air and the fire. We have a mutable and a fixed sign. And before I start pulling tarot, I also wanted to pull one of my Philosopher's Stone Oracle cards as well. I'm going to pull two because I'm feeling called to these two here. So, this is a deck I made a long time ago. So, we have Plato. It says, at the touch of love, everyone becomes a poet. This is very fitting with this twin flame energy, when we feel in love with somebody, and sometimes it's not even love, it's like this infatuation, this it could also be limerence. Limerence is another thing that a lot of people who are in this twin flame dynamic experience. And then we have a quote from Epictetus, sorry. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. So listening to our inner voice is what I'm hearing. The inner voice. That's what I'm hearing though, is this inner voice wants to explore, it wants to go out. It wants to feel free with the Sagittarius energy here. And the birds and the clouds, it's very flighty, right? But I'm curious, how can we ground this energy so that we're not just using it as an escape, you know? Because I think sometimes it can fall into that when we're ready to leave the nest, as you could say. We have the birds and the nest. So how can we ground this flighty energy, Spirit? 10 of Swords here. All of this air. This is actually a card that keeps coming up a lot too. The traditional 10 of Swords obviously is the one where they're being stabbed by swords, and it's like this almost mental defeatism, right? I'm hearing that this flighty sensation is in your mental state. Like there's nothing occurring in the reality or in the physical. There's nothing occurring in the physical, but we're creating this story, this narrative in our minds that is making us want to leave the nest. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. It's almost like you have to listen. Don't just listen to yourself, listen to those around you as well. We have the 7 of Wands, protecting your energy. I'm trying a new setup here. I don't really like the way this is set up. I usually have this camera doing a top down and then this camera on my face, but I'm doing something a little different. I'm exploring. It's gonna be imperfect, and that's okay. This is probably also part of this message, right? Allow yourself to be imperfect. Allow your relationship with others to be imperfect, right? It doesn't need to be this perfect, picture perfect king and queen, Romeo and Juliet, and they die at the end anyway. But it's almost like this with the 10 of Swords and the 7 of Wands. It's a releasing of these burdens. I'm just going to hold them up this way. A releasing of self-reliance, right? I'm almost seeing this 7 of Wands here. All these wands are helping her. And the 7th house in astrology is about relationships, right? So it's like allowing these relationships with others. And again, this doesn't have to be a twin flame thing. It could also just be like your family, or, you know, it's like we're needing to release this hyper independence, or this feeling that we need to rely on ourselves, when in reality we can rely on others, but we have to move through this untrustworthy feeling, right? Thank you. Yeah. Very Taurus, Taurus energy. The Nine of Pentacles with abundance. We're shifting out of this hustle and grind, superficiality. We've Virgo in Venus. Venus, Taurus. But Virgo is all about practicality, finding the most efficient way to do something. And sometimes the most efficient way isn't doing it on your own. That can set you back further, right? Allow yourself to be held by others. Allow yourself time to appreciate everything that you've accomplished up until this point that you're at right now, right? I also wanted to... Okay, hang on. I'm hearing different things at once. This is very soft. It's very soft energy. We have the Chariot moving forward. When I see this card, I usually think of taking the reins, balancing. It's almost like we need to balance this sense of independence with, so it's like a merging of the independence and codependence, right? I think a lot of twin flame dynamics are a bit codependent, and I say this in a way like, because when you attach your energy to somebody and you're saying, oh, this person is running away from me, they're not doing the work, I'm doing the work, but they're not doing the work, and when they finally start doing the work, then we can be together, right? But that's bypassing, that's giving away ownership of the work that you've been doing, right? If you've been doing the work, then the people who are meant to be with you will be with you. So you have to take the lead and shift your attention away from this person that is making you unhappy, right? This person who's running away from you, who you're chasing after. And you have to steer your ship, I don't know why I want to say ship, you have to steer your ship in a new direction. We have the Knight of Pentacles, practical, reliable, slow and steady. It's gonna take time. This is the slowest moving knight. We have Virgo again. It's not gonna be perfect, you know? Allow yourself to feel messy. Allow yourself to grieve. I want to pull one more card here. I'm going to pull it from the same deck here. Efficient. How are you using your energy? How are you using your time? You know, there is truly no separation. So by thinking that there is a separation, by thinking that you're not already in a union, you're giving away your energy to this thought form that was created by the collective to prevent you from doing your great work, doing the great work, whatever that means to you. You're here to write your own story, right? You're not here to follow along the story of what everybody else is following along with. We have the Seven of Wands again, in the same position. Standing your ground, setting boundaries, defending your position, right? You need to set boundaries with yourself about who you're going to allow into your life, or who you're going to give your energy to, who you're going to exchange energy with. Twice in one reading. That's a heavy message. Protecting your territory, preserving yourself. Stop giving yourself to people who don't appreciate you, right? Challenge these ways of thinking. Challenge the thoughts that you've held on to for so long, right? If you're staying in these patterns that are making you feel this Ten of Swords energy, then something obviously needs to change. And that is setting boundaries. Learning how to be flexible in the right areas. Excuse me. Alright, I'm going to throw some stones here and see if we can get some extra information. I'm not sure what's going to come out. Oh, I'm going to redo that one. Is that it? Oh, two more. Okay. So the first one that I noticed was this amethyst on the heart space. And I know you can't see this. Here, let me see if I can. Just give you a quick... Maybe. See, it's messy. It's okay. So we have this amethyst here in the heart space. This is in between these. We got one here, and one over in this direction here. So, let's explore this. I have a little cheat sheet that I made here of just the meanings of the things. So, amethyst is the feminine and the moon. So, this unknown, we don't know where we're going. And some people may know where they're going, but ultimately, we can only see what's directly in front of us, right? We can't see 5 years down the road. What is this? Fluorite, divine water flowing. Oh, aventurine, so the future. This abundance is already flowing towards you. Right, and this protection. I'm feeling that this challenge, it's challenging to set boundaries with people because, you know, if you've been living your life in a particular way for a very long time, it's really difficult to change that habit, right? If you've always allowed people to kind of just step on you or use you in a particular way, or if, say, you open the door to everybody, every love interest that comes into your life, then that's the pattern that you're trying to break, right? Peace and harmony. So listen more than you speak. Listen to... I keep hearing speed dating. It's like you've been in this state of speed dating, and instead of telling your story, listen more to the stories that are coming into you and use that as your discernment, your method of discernment. And then we also have the clear quartz. So the line between, I'm not sure what stone this is. I think this is the raw hematite. That's what it looks like. which is fire and conflict. It could also be the tree agate, the earth grounding. So yeah, grounding ourselves by creating these boundaries, 2020 on the clock. And this clear quartz in between these is the seed. I'm also hearing a balancing of the masculine and feminine within, right? So I think oftentimes in the spiritual spaces, the new agey ones, where they're like, oh, twin flame, one's a divine masculine, one's a divine feminine. It's like, no, you are both already. You don't need the other one outside of you. You're already whole and in union with yourself, right? With this Chariot here as well, like, you have to take the reins on your life. The masculine and feminine are already in your grasp. But yeah, I think that's your message. If this resonated with you, you can leave a comment below. Let me know your experience. You can leave a like. And I will see you when I see you. Remember to balance your shadow and light, your masculine and feminine, your mercy and severity. I love you so much. Take care.